Greetings and salutations and all that jazz. Lunch still isn't agreeing with me a lot right now, so I'm a little unhappy, but otherwise, let's make video games. So, what we're going to be doing today... I feel like the easiest one to make next is going to be... Because now that I figured out how I want to handle the double recursion, which was the problem we were having at the end of the previous stream, before we start on the double recursion, I've come up with an idea on how to resolve the double recursion. And I think the easiest way to do that is going to be to make the cloud block. How am I feeling about the Stormblood updates? I'm excited for it. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to mess with that this weekend. But hopefully I have time to play some Stormblood. Okay, good, yeah, I spaced that out perfectly. So 1 on one side, 2 on the other. I need to look more into what the actual job changes are. But otherwise, I suppose I'm excited as anybody else about an expansion. I will say I'm not super huge on the whole Japanese theme. Not that I dislike it, I just not... That's something I would have liked in my younger days. When you go like, oh man, feudal Japan and swords and crap, gonna be so cool, and like anymore, I don't care. Okay, so I feel like I need to go like 2 more down on the bottom. So it's 1 on the bottom. Man, this is a pain in the butt. Why did I think this was a good idea? Okay, same size, same size. So I at least have it centered. Yeah, I am admittedly a bit curious about what they'll do in future expansions. Because, like, they've hit all the major notes at this point. We've got an expansion in the sky, an expansion underwater, we've got a feudal Japan expansion. Where do we go next? Though admittedly, feudal Japan underwater, somewhat unique. I mean, I guess technically the Hyodl beat him to it. Alright, they're even all the same size. I'm gonna knock just a little bit off these corners. Okay, this is going to be a little bit of boring busy work for a minute while I get this settled, while I get this taken care of. Having to make the sprites for these things is a little repetitive, I guess. What are we working on today? We're resolving the double recursion problem, which I will get to very shortly. As soon as I get this sprite made, I'll re-go over the actual issue, and then I'll get to work on solving it. I have an idea now. So that's idle 10. Okay, so we got destroy 11. So that one's good. This one doesn't need any more. This one needs... Okay, we get to do the slow part one more time. Are you warming up the little guy, Muff?
No.
I didn't think so.
It's not a trap yet. It's just roly-poly and fuzzy.
So this week has been a pretty wrecked week, to say the least. So this is the first time that I've been able to stream, like, all week. So we haven't had a chance to get much work done. And I remember saying that, like, hey, I need to spend on my own time and figure out how I want to handle this double recursion. And then I figured it out, and then I couldn't do anything about it for, like, days because... reasons. Amongst other things. What is the other cat's name besides Muffin? I believe we're naming him Donut.
Egg Mick and Muffin.
Yeah, we did want to name all of the cats after pastries.
Yeah.
Like whatever cat or pet or whatever it is that we get, they're all going to be pastries. And for that little bump, like he's just a little black kitten. For that little bump, I felt like a lot of the fancier names that we could, or a lot of the other pastry names we came up with were just sounded too fancy. I don't know, something about it. Okay, then I gotta go down here and add in a destroy 11. And theoretically, at this point, we have another gem added. Yeah, Bunny Man, I believe we're naming it Donut. Oh god, why you gotta be this way? Feels like a truck just drove through my digestive system. I'm not sick or anything. Lunch just really disagreed with me. Okay, so we got them. We can throw them. They function. They're good blocks. And we can make pairs. Okay, so they function. These blocks... before I get into too much, you need to be able to move them, so I don't want to do that. But I don't want you to be able to pair with them. So let's go find Move Gem Movement and add another one down here for 11. Okay, so you shouldn't be able to pair with them anymore. Now to actually solve the problem. Okay, so the issue with the double recursion. Let's take a look at this. I drew this up before to illustrate the double recursion problem. Okay, so what we're doing is we're making a gem that... Maybe this will be easier if I just clear out some of the top. We're making a gem that, since this is a cloud one, I gotta approach this a little differently. That you only resolve by tossing down or by making a match next to it. So, if that were it, you would have to, like, throw down 3 blocks right there. Let's go yellow, maybe. That'll be... Can you tell that better? Man, none of these work. Purple. Purple. Purple's too close to red. Purple. Okay, so you can only get rid of it by making a match next to it. At which point, it will actually be replaced with a regular gem. But the issue is, I want all of the points from that match to go to the opponent. So when you get rid of this one, when you get rid of this garbage block, it will get rid of, or it will send... Like, it'll get rid of it, and send all of these to the opponent. So the opponent gets 4 points in this situation. So the problem is determining how I'm going to send those 4 points to the opponent. Because how I handle this is... Or how I need to handle this due to the internal systems that I have set up, is when I throw this match down, it's going to start searching at this top block. And it's going to destroy, effectively, all blocks from there. It does not know that it's going to encounter this cloud block at any point. So it's going to start at the top and go, okay, we check this one. Let's make it blue, I guess. Okay, we'll check this top one. And we'll mark it for later destruction. Then from this one, we'll search in all 4 directions around it, of which we only find one directly below it. So we move to this one below it now. From this one below, we check and go... Oh, from this one below, we mark it for destruction, and then we check all around it. And first, we'll check to the right. No, never mind. We'll actually check down first. Ignore that. We will not check to the right. We will check down first and go, okay, here's another one. We got it. Mark that for destruction. Now, once we're done with that, it'll check every side around it and go, okay, we have nowhere left to move. So, I'm just going to destroy this block and move back one. which puts us back on this one in the middle. Now from this one in the middle, we're going to check out again and say, well, are there any other directions to go? Yes, actually, we can go to this one to the right, so we can mark that for destruction. Oh, but that one was actually a cloud block, which means we now need to make sure that all of these blocks' points go towards the opponent. So not only do we have that, but I'm going to mark this one now, so the point goes to the opponent. So now we know the points from this go to the opponent, then we can delete it and we move back to this one here in the middle. Now from this one in the middle, we still know points go to the opponent, so we're going to say, hey, the points to this go to the opponent. And then we check around, we can't see anything else, so we delete it. Which takes us back to this top one, where we know we encountered a cloud block, so we have to mark this one so points go to the opponent, and then when all is said and done, we can delete it. Now the issue is we've now deleted all of them, however, only these 3 blocks sent points to the opponent. This one down here sent points to that player, not the opponent. And this is really inconsistent and will determine entirely on how the search algorithm works. Like, for all it matters, I could have a cloud block right here, and then just have a whole bunch of other crazy blocks that go around and do this. And it'll do all, and like, I throw this down, and it'll do it, and it'll grab only those 3. Or depending on how it searched, if it didn't only grab those 3, maybe it would grab, like, these. Oh, I don't think we have that much time. Well, Pope. Well, we're just gonna have to talk to the florist, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, wow, that's a long time.
And you can't even customize these.
Yeah, like it's a pre-done mole, effectively.
Yeah.
Well, Pope.
Oh my god, we're not gonna name that cat Pop-Tart.
Okay, so this was the overarching issue that we ran into. This was the double recursion issue. Because the only thing I could figure out to handle this, to resolve this problem, was effectively to run through the whole thing, mark everything for deletion, just do the whole gig as it normally does it, and then, and when it encounters the cloud block, say, okay, we now know we encountered a cloud block when we did this, and then as soon as it's done, it's got to go through all the recursion again to get to that cloud block. And that, in fact, is very difficult, because by that point all the blocks have already been marked for deletion, and everything's weird in the game files, and what I would need to do is preemptively search for a cloud block before I do anything. Which means every single time I throw down and make a match, I have to search recursively the entire thing just to check if there's a cloud block. And then once I know if there is, do the rest of the search normally. Do we want to do that? What do you want, though?
I mean,
Like, we weren't just getting these for the cost. We were getting these because we liked them.
yeah.
So what do you want?
I don't know.
Like, do you want these? Because if you want these, we can do that.
I kind of do. I wonder if I can like find a cheaper alternative though.
I mean, take a look around, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't wait too long,
Yeah.
as we've seen.
Yeah. I'm just kind of irritated that I don't know. We thought when we first saw it.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't... There's no way we would have known. It would have taken 12 weeks to...
And what's frustrating is that they say like we need to have your order delivered 7 to 14 days before your wedding, although our goal is much sooner. Just give it to us.
Yeah, like, knock that down to a week, take the rest of that time to work on it.
If you have an urgent order needed sooner than 3 weeks, please call our wedding department and we'll make every attempt to place a rush order at a cost of $75. So you can make it in 3 weeks. And it costs the same to make it in 11 weeks as it does 3 weeks.
Okay, so, to resolve the issue here. So, my idea was... as we search through, because the last thing I want to do is do double recursion, where you have to recurse through this entire thing twice for no reason. So my resolution to this issue was I'm going to make an array, and as I search through the array, just for the regular good old searching, I'm going to add every single block's UID to that array. If, at any point along the way, I find a cloud block, or anything for that matter, it could be a cloud block, or it could be either of the other two blocks that I need to worry about. If I find a cloud block, then I'm going to return a value indicating that, yes, I found a cloud block. And then I just know, after I'm done with the recursion, if I found a cloud block, then go through that array, and every single one of the gems with the UID in that array, I set that point to go to the opponent. So that's gonna be Muggle. Okay, so I think Break Gems is the recursion. Yes. It is a little complicated, but honest to goodness, it is the best option here. Like, it's that or do a complete recursion through the entire thing twice, every single time. Which is horribly inefficient. Okay, so check match, after fall, and start combo timer. So this is our duder. This is where we call break gems. Couldn't you just count gems as you match them and just add the number to the player of a single set value? Would you change on finding the garbage blocks? I cannot. And the reason I can't do that is because far more is going on here than when I delete the gems than simply adding a number to one score or the other. Specifically, we've got stuff like when I throw these down, you see 3 little things spawn, 4 little things spawn, and fly up to the number. That's part of the deal of why I can't just add the number to the other side. Because I also would then have to determine, well, where are these things gonna fly? Like, what I need to do is there's a variable on every gem called quota target. And quota target determines whose point this gem is going towards. And I have to figure out exactly which gems to set quota target on. Doing it any other way at this point would require changing so much underlying infrastructure when I can just resolve it this way. Probably to be less efficient anyway. Okay, so I feel like I'm gonna have to add another variable here, which I don't like doing right here specifically. This is going to be...
Oh, it's 25% off
Okay, let's add another variable here. Found garbage. System set value found garbage is going to be set equal to function dot call break gems, and then pass in temp color, temp x, temp y, 0. I think that's how you do the notation for that. And then down here, I need to break gems. Okay, so how am I gonna do this? Okay, so I think I should be able to drag that down there, drag all of this down here. And then here, I'll have if gem type equals 11. So we encounter a cloud. So if we encounter a cloud, we're not doing this anymore. We're not, like, searching anymore after that. Why do I set temp X and temp Y? Like, I don't even see why I need to do that. I guess setting quota target also doesn't matter. But we will set return value to 1. That'll return it out, but currently I don't do anything with it. So I need to find a way to get it from here. Like, the only thing I can think is down here, putting in a... And this is going to be absolutely ridiculous. Compare parameter. I'm going to have to, like, compare two values. This is going to be absolutely ridiculous. There's got to be a better way to do this. This is horribly unreadable. Oh, this is going to be so horribly unreadable. It's going to be better than the alternative, though, which is like putting all of this in the conditional. Okay, now let's just do this 4 times. Okay, so this one is going to be 1 plus gem size. This is going to be 2 plus gem size, and this one is going to be 1 minus gem size. So if at any point you find a 1, and so if at any point you find the cloud gem, react accordingly, set return value to 1. Which means all of these I can disable. Which means it'll do all of this, and then it'll go down here and it'll set found garbage to a thing by calling that. And if we get the return value out of that, that'll also set the return value. So that should just pass it all the way back until we get to the initial call, which is right here. At which point we now have found garbage coming back and doing something. For the time being, I'm just going to set text queue to Alright, let's see how horribly this works. Okay, so it doesn't do anything, but this should still find me the thing. Oh yeah, and it destroyed it? I did set it to do that, didn't I? Exactly as planned. Whoosh! And it returns a 1, because it found garbage. It looks like it works. Okay. Cool beans. So back down here, it looks like it works. We do, in fact, destroy the gem. We do need to set up the array so we actually send the points to the correct person. So that's going to be the last deal, which is the whole reason this got set up. But otherwise it looks like it works, so that's cool. Okay, so we need to add an array.
Ew.
There, I added an array.
You don't want those staircase?
I don't know. My tummy is still trying to understand itself. Hmm?
I said I probably shouldn't eat one right now. Oh.
Okay, so this is going... Okay, so this array is going to be called... Call it array match. Width of 0. That resets all values to 0. Destroy. I could destroy the object. I want to do that, though. I guess I could set size. To 0, 1, 1. So we want to set size to 0, 1, 1 before we run this. And then down here, whenever we find a gem, that we're doing something with. So for this one, we do want this one to count. So let's go array, push onto, I don't give a crap where. Gem.uid. Okay, so we now we pash GemUID onto the x-axis. I'm pretty sure I set x to be 0. X size to be 0. So that should do that. And then I also want to do that here. When I set quota target. It doesn't matter that I set quota target because I'm going to override that in a minute anyway. And quota target will work for times when I don't find a special gem. So pushback gem UID on x-axis. Sounds good. So let's try this again now. So we know it works. Array match. Width 0, height 1, 1, 1, 1. 3 items. It's 57, 56, and 40. Four items. So we're looking at 63, 43, 50, 49. 43. $49, $50, $63. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's correct. I'm pretty sure that's them. 63, 43, 49, 50. So we have the number. So we should come out the other side of this function call with a thing. Okay, so while found garbage is equal to 1, while dude, I can just do a for each element. Holy crap. Where is... I have to go down here and go add another condition. Pick by unique ID, and we're looking at array match element dot at. I don't know how this crap works. I don't remember. Can I just do loop index? Can I do loop index? Can I do this? Does that work? So if found garbage is 1, then for each X element, like, I think that'll work. It's doing something, but I don't think it's doing it right. Okay, so it's not doing it at all. That's cool. Wait, can I just go, like... Can I just do this? Hey, help. Help me with arrays.
What?
I'm looking at the manual to learn about arrays. I think this is exactly what I need. So let's try this again. No, let's stop. Let's set this back to 1. Oh yeah! That works amazingly. Let's try... So what happens over here? So this should only interact with that bottom one, so this should give 4 points to the opponent. Yes! So I'm holding 2, so this will be 2, 3... So this should give 5 to the opponent, putting them at 9. Yes! We've done it. We've averted double recursion. And I think we're done, actually, too, with the cloud block. It does everything it needs to. You just have to make a pair next to it. And then it breaks that gem and sends the points back to the opponent. Oh, but I do not yet spawn a new gem in its place. So these bits of code look very familiar. So what's the difference here? I think it's entirely just to make sure that the thing goes to the right person. Oh, this is actually going to be a little tricky. Can I, like, destroy a gem and then do something that involves that gem after that? Like, does it destroy it at the end of the frame, or is it just gone right there? Making this gem make another gem is proving to be sort of a headache.
There's an on-destroyed trigger.
Yeah, I've got a lot of... Well, I've got on animation finished.
Oh, there's on-destroyed.
I guess.
So if you want a gem to do something as soon as it's destroyed...
Yeah, let's see here.
How you doing?
Gem on destroyed.
Whoa.
Gem has...
Muffin is my favorite muffin.
Gem type of 11. Now comes the other problem of, like, I need to reference a gem when I make another gem.
Oh no. What are you doing, love? Wait.
Maybe? 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 Maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Yeah, Venus, I'm not sure how to pronounce the first half of your name. That is exactly what I just thought of. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this whole block of code and I'm going to copy it down here and I'm going to remove 11 from it. And then on this one, I'm going to remove everything but 11 from it. And then I'm going to modify this. So instead of destroying the gem, I just turn it into another gem. Okay, so... what in the world does check falling do? What is the importance of this? Do I even do that anywhere else? Oh, maybe that's to check... since I just got rid of a gem, maybe that's to check if gems need to fall. Which I shouldn't need to because I'm making another gem. I think that's what it does, though. Trigger fall after delete. Check falling. Yep, that's exactly what it does. Alright. I do not need to... if something else triggers check falling, then cool. Whatever. Who cares? But I do not need to check for falling here. So I do still need to create the spark, because they're still getting points for that. And set its destination, add 1 to quota, all things that need to be done. I just do not need to destroy the gem. I instead need to... do all of this. Okay, I'm not checking any fancy things, so I don't need to do that. I don't need to worry about doing that. So just grab all of this and drag it down here. And do this. So I do not need to create it. Set gem type is going to be... floor of random 5. Timer is going to... I assume be 0? So we do need to do that. Speed should not need to be changed. Distance should not need to be changed. Check match should not need to be updated. We know for a fact this is 11, so I'm not even going to mess with timer because there shouldn't be a timer on it. And what is this block placed? What does that do? Okay, block place is part of checking for if there's a match. I think. So I'm not going to mess with that either. So it looks like it's as simple as this. Just change the gem type and then change the animation. I feel like I can get rid of one of these two, but I'm not sure which. Quarter target equals 1. I can probably get rid of this one entirely. Because quota target will probably never be 1. Because it's a cloud block, that's the whole point. I'm just going to disable that, and I'm going to remove this quota target from that. So, like, no matter what happens, the cloud block will just send points to the opponent, always. Alright, let's see if this works. One, two, three, four, 5 should send 6 over and create another gem. It did it! I mean, sort of. It mostly did it. Why can't I pick this gem up? What if I throw a gem at it? I'm not gonna pick that gem up. Well, we're getting somewhere. I'm not entirely positive how to resolve this. Okay, the only thing I can think is this set check falling. I will also put a set check falling here. I still can't pick this one up. You know why I can't pick this one up? That could be a problem. Yeah, I know exactly why, now that it occurs to me. Let's see here. I think it's just this. Looks like it's just this. So let's go back down here, and let's also set destroyed back to 0. Okay, now let's see what happens. So this should send 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the opponent. The one on the right should stay the same, the one on the left should fall. Oh yeah! Look at that crap. Oh, whoops, I threw the wrong one over. Those are the bombs! No sub button. As far as I know, I have not made partner. Well, I know I have not made partner, but I don't think I've even made associate. I mean, I've been streaming more lately, so hopefully soon. I don't know what it takes to make associate at this point, like after the initial rush. I don't know what it takes to get people to, or to get it to show up now. Okay, what can I do? What can I do? Thanks a bunch, Lord of Souls. Okay, so when I toss this one down, that should break the bottom one. That's 3, 4, 5 gems that it should send to the other side. So we're looking at 5, 27. So opponent should have 27 points. And we should get rid of and the bottom gem should turn into a different gem. Aw, yeah, look at that crap. Doing what it's supposed to. It's great. So if I toss 2 more down... So if I toss 3 down, that should hit both of them. And make 2 blocks fall. Yes! So that's pretty rad. So yeah, it makes the gem, and it sends all the points to the opponent. Good deal. Is there anything else are there any other bugs that I could conceive of? Whoops. There we go, I finally typed it in right. So does it work the same on this side? Yes. Alright, looks like it works wonderfully.
Well, it's just like crouched over by the bedroom door. It's like, I am going to stay here and investigate, but stop looking at me.
What is going on here? Get back over there. Oh no. Muff!
Muffin! Muffin!
Okay, that works now.
Oh, there she is.
Where is she? Oh, there she is. I'm back!
I'm gonna treat you over by the door. Can't get you by the door, though.
Okay, so it's looking good though. I think this gem is done.
Come here. Come here, Muff. Treat.
Yeah, I think this gem is done. I can't think of anything else that it needs to do.
Yes. Okay, I'll leave it now. Good girl. Yeah.
Like, you can't match it, but you can pick them up and move them, which is important, so you can't, like, block somebody out. So that works wonderfully. Points go to the right person. Man, thanks, Daisy. That'd be super cool. Is it going to allow picking up multiple blocks of the same color? It sure does. You can do this. So you're carrying 4. You can throw 4 back down. And you can even pick up all 4 at once. You can do either. See, now what you would want to do to get rid of these most efficiently is, like, do this, and that has sent the minimum to the opponent. He's like, you're gonna send the 4. Always gonna send the 4 over. But to get rid of those 3 blocks, to get rid of those 4 blocks, you also only sent over 3 of your own. I'll also do that. So, there are no more bugs that I can think of, and it does exactly what I needed it to do. So that is some cool beans. Oh, I was gonna test, real quick. Since I'm over on the side... Okay, so that's cool. And that sent 4 over there. Okay, cool. Which means I do not need this block of code, nor do I need that. I also don't need that.
Muffin!
So we are looking good. And that has set up a system that works really well down here. That set up a system that works really well for checking through and finding odd blocks, like Gem 11 here. So when I do the remaining couple blocks, which I think I only have 2 more garbage blocks to make.
Man. Muffin, are you sitting on the computer again?
Like, let's see here, we just did Cloud Block.
Please no.
Yeah, just the Ghost Block and the Rainbow Block left. Whoops.
You sit on my computer, I'm gonna carry you around like an infant.
I dropped my pencil.
Oh no. Wait.
Yeah, but that's all that's left is the Ghost Block and the Rainbow Block, and that's going to be really nice, because I should just have to add another section here for the Rainbow Block, and I'm good.
Muffin says, why?
Because you're a muffin, that's why. And you're a bud.
You're a huge butt. You have to be a good influence on the young mind of Donut. She says, fuck that.
I'm gonna do what I want.
Yesterday, she stood on my computer and then pressed the power button and turned my computer on.
I think she was trying to tell you you should work on the desktop.
She's done that before, except I'm pretty sure she turned the computer off once.
She was telling you you needed to take a break.
Muffin, why? Why are you like this?
She's just looking out for you.
I got a lot of work done, okay?
She's trying to help.
In the past, like, 2 hours.
She's trying to help.
That's not helping.
Okay, the Rainbow Block should actually be super easy, just because of this. The Ghost Block will be a little more complicated, but still shouldn't be too nightmarish. It's set that the blocks...
Are you back on the computer? Love it!
So currently it's set that the blocks only clear with player interaction, if I'm understanding right. Not all of them. There are 2 different garbage blocks that will clear automatically. And that is the bomb block, and the other block I have not yet made. No, yes I did. The roulette block. The bomb block and the roulette block both will. So let me send some bomb blocks over. Let me create a slightly more interesting environment for them.
Muffin, do you need help?
Okay, so I think 4 was bomb? Yeah. So then after a time, you can't do anything to interact with the bomb, but after a short time period, they just explode, taking every adjacent block with them, and sending all of those points to the opponent. And then the other one is the roulette block, which you also can't interact with in any way. But after a brief time, they will randomly select from the blocks they're connected to, and trigger... They'll randomly select from the blocks next to them, and trigger a match going into that block. Which means, if you have, say, if this blue block, say, were a roulette block, if it just landed up here, since it only picks from the ones it's adjacent to, it would only grab this green one below it. But it would trigger a match only to that green one. But, say, if it landed here instead, it has 3 different directions to choose from, and it could randomly choose either left, down, or right. And if it chose left, it would chain to this yellow one, which would also take the yellow one below that and send and destroy all three of them, all points going to the opponent. So ideally, if you really wanted to make the roulette block not a threat, well, you can't interact with them at all, so I guess that's kind of a moot point. But if you want to make them as little a threat as possible, you just have to remove any blocks next to them. So no cascading matches, i.e. a match a group which destroys, then stuff falls down and makes a second match. You can do that too, actually. It's a little tricky too. But it's a little tricky too, because, I compare it to something like Magical Drop, and the reason it's reasonably easy to do in Magical Drop is because the gems all advance in set patterns, which are then conducive to making matches. So you can make a match, and the blocks below it will be kind of set up to make matches more easily. It's harder to do in here because you've got to do more front work because it is just straight up random. But what you can do, say, is put, do that there. Gotta get this yellow out.
Why are you on the computer again? Why do you do this? Why do you stand on the desktop?
So you can do like boom, boom. So you can do it. Muff.
I'm not feeding her until she stops it. I'm not gonna reward that behavior.
I gotta figure out, like, what can we do?
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put your headphones here and see what she does.
Knocks them off. Oh, you know when you get a crick in your neck?
Not really.
You've never had a crick in your neck?
Honest to goodness,
You've never had that, like, tense pain for, like, half a second and then it just radiates outward?
maybe.
You just go, oh!
Maybe.
I just had that in my shoulder.
Oh.
It just cracked my shoulder.
So yes, you can do the cascading matches. I think one of the big things with this game that I wanted to do though. Yeah, you're trying, Muff. You're also failing.
Muffin.
So one of the big things that I wanted to do with this game, if garbage flows naturally, it will not make a match. You can certainly find matches just naturally in the environment. Like you can see there's 3 greens right here in the middle. To get these 3 greens, though, to trigger, you'd have to pick them back up and throw them back down. Well, that was a good one. Cut it out, Muff. Cat. See, I'm not afraid to spray right there. You're not on a computer. Yeah, in order to create a match, as far as the programming is concerned, a block has to fall in order to create a match. So, like, the naturally occurring ones, like that one, will not create a match. You have to pick up a block and then either throw it back down, so you have a block falling down to create that match, or if you destroy a block under a block, causing the block on top to fall down, like with the cascading match thing, that will also trigger it. I think one of the big things that I wanted to do, or wanted to emphasize with this game, though, since I think we've got a couple new people here, is usually in these kind of games, the goal is to top off your opponent, like, just send so much garbage to the opponent that, and garbage blocks to the opponent, that they hit the top of the screen. And though I'm making it physically possible to do that in this game, I don't want that to be the goal. The goal, I want to instead out-quota your opponent. So you'll have a goal of like 200 or so. So you just have to destroy 200 gems in order to win. And when you send garbage to the opponent, that garbage will be more meant, or will be more designed around slowing them down and giving you more gems. Like, say, the bomb block that gets tossed to the opponent's side. They can't interact with that bomb block, so that's preventing them from messing around with a certain number of gems on their side. And then when it blows up, all of those gem points go towards the opponent. Like the originator. Come on, Moth, go ahead and get in. And I don't want to be able to throw so many garbage blocks over that it just becomes this crazy stack of garbage blocks. Like, I want to send very few over, generally. Just a handful of, like, 3 or 4 on average. I haven't done a lot of balancing to make that work right yet, but I'm focusing on getting the mechanics down before I worry about that, because that's just, like, changing some numbers around. Yeah, so we got that. Then each playable character is going to have a different kind of garbage that they can throw to the opponent. Right now I have 9 different garbage blocks planned. I do completely understand it's going to take a lot of balancing to make sure that these are all, well, balanced. So one character is effectively the equivalent of another. Oh, and lastly, I don't yet know if I want the gems to auto-advance. Currently they don't. You have to advance them manually. And I'm debating if I want them to only be able to advance manually.
I would maybe make them very slowly auto-advance. I mean, maybe someone doesn't know that they don't auto-advance.
Yeah.
It's very slow.
Because,
So not like now.
yeah, because I just feel like the main reason for the...
Maybe they only auto-advance when there are none.
So generally, an auto-advance is there to put pressure on the player, because they have to clear faster than the advancing. It's helping push them towards the fail state of hitting the top of the screen, which I don't want to be the fail state. The only reason I have that as a fail state in this game is because just by chance you do happen to get that high, I don't want you to be able to keep putting blocks off the top of the screen. So I don't want that to be the goal. But that is an interesting idea of maybe making it auto-advance when you clear the board.
Or at least, like, have very little left.
Yeah. Because you can get to a point when there's just, like... What is going on right now? They're not completing their animation. Why aren't the gems completing their animation? Really have all the gems fit perfectly into the bloody... Oh my, I have to fix that. I think somehow I managed to get all the gems. Why isn't it working? Yeah, the one up top is doing the animation correctly.
A little bit probably has his football in his cage.
I wonder why it's doing that. The ones on bottom are never completing their animation.
This character's screaming, throwing a fit.
They're still not completing their animation. Why aren't they completing their animation? I feel like I'm going to resolve this because right now the gems have very few frames to their animation, and I pad out the empty space where they're not flashing with, like a single frame with a high delay. And I'm eventually going to remove that and just put in all the frames of the animation. And I think I may even set the animation speed of all of them to 0 and just always set all of their animation frames to that of the idle block.
That's what I would do.
And I think that will resolve most of this problem.
That's lit.
What I can do... Okay, so I can do that. Why does friggin' gem hold work, though? That's awkward. It's still never seeing that final frame of the animation. Why? Why do you do this to me? It's like sorta doing it. Wait, really? Oh my goodness, really? I'm an idiot. Alright, well that may or may not have resolved that problem, and I'm surprised hasn't caused more problems leading up to this.
Okay. Both of the kitties have been fed.
Alright, I'm just about done. I'm not gonna do anything else big. Mostly I was talking about video games. And then I ran into this weird bug that I just resolved. did I not notice that sooner? Yeah, look at that whole animation you can see, it's great.
What's that pause block?
Oh, that's the roulette block.
Huh. It just destroys itself after a minute.
Yeah. It does more if there are blocks under it, but I've not advanced anything over there.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna get friggin' hammered by roulette blocks here in a second. Ugh! I won! Okay, so one of my favorite things is what happens to the blocks when you win. Like, when you win, the blocks just go... boo, and then they all fall off like this, and it looks super cool. What happens when a garbage block drop makes you hit the top of the screen? I'm pretty sure it makes you lose. Let's find out! Yep, you lose. Okay, so we got a new garbage block in, we got the cloud block in, and the cloud block has... to do the cloud block, we had to resolve the double recursion problem, which worked wonderfully, and has paved the way for us to do the remaining two garbage blocks. Once these last two garbage blocks are done, I don't know what I'm going to work on next. There's still so much that needs done. I need to... I want to make a second screen that is kind of like a character select screen. but would also let you choose between player versus player and player versus AI. I should make it... I should let you play AI versus AI. So you can just watch two AIs duke it out. I also need to make an AI.
Have fun.
That's gonna be great. See, now the funny thing is, I actually kind of liked the idea of programming the AI when it was just about the regular gems. As soon as I started thinking about how am I gonna make the AI deal with each individual garbage block, my brain, shut down. I don't even want to. Holy crap.
I would make AI ignore them.
You can't ignore some of them.
Yes.
And then that doesn't make for a very good AI. Well, we'll worry about programming AIs when we get to it. Gonna be a good time. I feel like once that's done, before I program the AI, I'm going to want to refine a lot of the game's actual gameplay. Once I get that done, and the AI works, I feel like I'm going to want to at least marginally improve the graphics. Just to get to the point where I've got, the gems have all their frames of animation. And crap. Not too big, but just some minor improvements. And then last but not least, netplay. Netplay is going to be a whole other sack of worms. Once netplay is done, aesthetics. Can you even program netplay in Construct 2? Yes.
Yeah, they finally added that, after years of going multiplayer, online multiplayer, of people requesting it.
Yeah.
And them just going, if we add this, it's not going to be easy, no matter what we do.
Yeah, there's nothing that they can do. There's nothing anybody can do to make netplay easy.
Yeah.
But I need to do some practicing and some learning about how that works, because I looked into it some. I looked into how you'd make program Palm or something. And it doesn't seem hateful. It's mostly you kind of have one character designated as a server, and everybody else or one player designated as a server, and everyone else designated on a, or as a client. And the server does pretty much all the actual programming. All the actual execution. And the client just gives and receives the absolute necessary information. Any thoughts on a single-player time or score attack mode? That is actually something I would like to do, especially once I get the game up and running. I'd like to look into different game modes. like a time attack or a score attack, or even a little like a mini game kind of thing. Like Magical Drop had little adventure modes and stuff, and I think it'd be super cool to get those put in. I of course would want to add like a main single player story mode or whatever. I'm gonna worry about that though after I get everything else, like after I get net play done, for sure. And, like, net play is going to be a pain in the butt, but I still almost feel like the hardest part of this whole thing is going to be programming that AI. We'll take it one step at a time. So we don't get too overwhelmed, we'll take it one step at a time. Not even going to have their AI take into account that gems can be garbage blocks first. Just program them to handle regular blocks. Then we'll just take one garbage block at a time. It's gonna be a nightmare. Alright, it's late, but we got the garbage block done. We avoided double recursion in doing so, which means we've got a pretty decent way to handle things from here. So, good night everybody. I'm not sure when I'll stream next. I may be able to stream on Saturday, but I'm not sure. But also do remember the Fragment Friday is tomorrow. If you show up early, then you get to vote on what game that I play for the evening. So good night, everybody. Take care.